Okay, hello everyone. So today we are going to learn about algebra, and in that we are going to learn about some basic terms of algebra. So let's start first with variable. So what is variable? A letter that represent either a number, a specific number, or all numbers. And then next term is a coefficient. A coefficient is the constant factor of a term. Okay, so we'll explain this, what is variable and coefficient. So variable, let's consider a letter that represent either a specific number or a numbers, all numbers. Okay, for example, x, y, z. So these are all variables. And then what are coefficients? So coefficients are the numbers which are written before these variables. For example, phi x. In this, phi is a coefficient and x is a variable, and this whole phi x is called as a term. Okay, I will explain like how this term is. For example, let's take another example. Let's consider milk and a coffee beans. Okay, so let's consider milk as a coefficient and your coffee powder as a variable. Okay, so when we mix both the terms, what we get is a coffee, right? Okay, that we call as a term. Okay, when we mix a coefficient and a variable, then we call it as a term. Okay, then further we will go for expressions. Okay, so expressions are collections of one or more terms joining by addition or subtraction. Okay, and what are terms? It is a combination of coefficient and variables. Okay, so expressions are x plus y, y square minus x square. Okay, so this is a variable with coefficient 1. Okay, yes, one thing to remember, if uh, only variable is given and no coefficient is given, then we assume coefficient as 1. Okay, remember this in mind, we assume coefficient as 1 when coefficient is not given, only variable is given. Okay, and then coming back to expressions, so x plus y, here coefficient is 1, here also coefficient is 1, then y square plus x square, then again a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this is additions, expressions which are formed by using additions, and these are terms. This is a term, this is a term, this is a terms. Okay, now further in expression we will know about monomial. Okay, so what is monomial? Monomial means an expression which consists only one term. Okay, one term. For example, phi x. So this is a monomial. Okay, so this is a monomial. Then next term is binomial. Okay, so what is binomial? So binomial is the expression which consists two terms. Okay, two terms, so that is called as a binomial. Okay, for example, phi x plus 4y. Okay, so this is called as a binomial because it consists two terms. And again, what is terms? Terms is a combination of coefficient and variables. Okay, so next term is trinomial. Okay, so expressions and its types. So I will just write here types. Okay, types of expressions: monomial, binomial, and then trinomial. Trinomial means expression having three terms. For example, I will write here 3x plus 4y plus 5z. So these are three terms which are combined using addition. So this is called as a trinomial. Okay, yes, we can also use subtraction sign to denote an expression. For example, I will write here for example, okay, 3x minus 4y. Okay, so this is binomial having a negative sign, subtraction, combined using subtraction. Okay, then what is polynomial? Okay, polynomial is a expression which is not having like more than one term, is called as polynomial. Okay, so further, okay, further we are going to learn about equations. Okay, so there are two types of equations. Okay, just a thing to note, in expression is not always equal to something. Okay, for example, it is written in this form only. Okay, this form, it is not like equal to 0 or equal to 10 and all. This is a expression. And in equation is a term with a single power of a variable. Okay, that is called as a linear equations. So equations are the terms which have expression with equal to signs. Okay, which with equal to signs are called as equations. For example, x plus y is equal to 0. So this is a equation. Okay, and what is a linear equation? A term with a single power of a variable. Okay, so single power of a variable. So what is single power of a variable? Single power of a variable means this is a variable, it is having a power means on his head, on its head, head. Okay, on its head, let's consider this y. On y, its head is 1, so it will have power 1. This is called as a power. Okay, remember in this mind, this is called as a power. Okay, this is called as power. And what is linear equation? Single power of a variable, a term with a single power. A term, this is power, this is term, this is a variable. Okay, this is variable power with power 1. Okay, single power means 1. Okay, so this is called as a linear equations. And what are quadratic equations? Quadratic equations are a term with the square of a single variable. A term with the square of a single variable is called as a quadratic equation. For example, x square plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. Okay, why it is a quadratic equation? Because here the power of a variable is 2. Okay, that is a square. So in mathematical term, we don't call it as a 2, we call it as a square. So it's x square, y square, z square. So these are squares, and if we combine it with expressions, then it will form a quadratic equation. Okay, so quadratic equations are the equations having a term with a square of its variable. Okay, a term with a square of a variable is called as a quadratic equations. Okay, so further, now we are going to learn about FOIL. Okay, foil means not a paper foil and all. So foil means a short of first, outer, inner, last. Okay, what does this means? Okay, first, outer, inner, last. Okay, first, first, outer, inner, last. Okay, inner, last. What does this means? Okay, just in simple term I will explain this. To solve this type of equation we use this method. For example, we have to solve this expression, then how we will solve? First we will take this first term, we will multiply with this bracket, that is a this outer term and this inner term. Okay, outer term and then outer term and then inner term. Okay, and then further we will multiply this q with these two terms. Okay, so this is called as first, outer and inner, last. I will show this how it is solved. For example, p plus q into r plus s, we have to solve this. Okay, so first we will take this p and then we will multiply with r and s, how it is multiplied and how it is written. So p into r plus p into s, p into s. Then similarly we have to do with q. Okay, so plus q into r plus q into s. Why we have added here plus sign? Because q is having a plus sign, that's the reason why we have added here plus. And similarly here also it is having a plus sign, that's the reason why this term is positive. We have not shown here a positive sign, but yes, it's a positive term. Okay, we don't usually show a positive sign while writing the first term in an equation. Okay, if this r would have a negative sign, then we have to show this negative sign over here while writing a equation. Okay, remember this in mind. So this is how a FOIL method is applicable while solving these equations or two brackets. So this is a important method while solving a quadratic equation. Let's take solve this using a number. For example, 1 plus 2 into 3 plus 5. Okay, how this is solved using FOIL method? First we will take one term and multiply with 3 and 5. So 1 into 3 is 3, right? Plus 1 into 5 is 5, plus then again we will write this plus sign and then multiply 2 with 3. Okay, so 2 into 3 is what? 2 into 3 is 6. Okay, so 2 into 3 is 6 plus 2, this 2 and this 5. So 2 into 5 into 5. Okay, so I will write this properly. 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 and plus 2 into 5 is 10. Okay, so 10, and the addition will be 10 plus 16 plus 5 21 plus 3 24. So the addition will be 24. Okay, so that's end of today's lecture. In further lecture we will learn how to solve a linear equation, how to solve a quadratic equation, and then different formulas. If you are new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe, and also do comment if you like the video.